Hello, welcome back after our about a month away. We're back for our next episode of Champions of the Fae. I'm really excited to get back into playing and getting back into the story. Um, Before we start, I'll say a few words about our sponsors. Just get those into chat. They are Fundamental RPG. It's a simple D20 system that's not tied to a genre, so you can use it to play any style of game that you like, from high fantasy to sci-fi and everything in between. You can pick up physical copies on Amazon. They look like this. Or if you prefer digital copies, you can grab those over at ko-fi.com/Raven, like it's spelled at the bottom of the screen. You can also find a free quick play guide for it there as well. Also go check out Die Hard Dice over at dieharddice.com. They sell amazing polymer and metal dice sets and accessories. And if you use the code FUNRPG, all capitals, all one word, you can get 10% off of your entire order. And I highly recommend checking out the Aventura set. They sent this to me a little bit ago, but they're really pretty. There's a link straight to those in the chat if you want to go check those out. I'm quite enjoying them. I think that is it for that. So we're going to do intros with everybody. Andy, I'll let you take it away with that, and then we'll hop in.
All right, welcome in everybody. Thank you so much for joining us again. We're going to go through character introductions first and foremost. It's been a little bit since we've played last time, so let's go ahead and remind everybody who you are playing tonight, and anything important that you want us to know when we're jumping in right here. Let's go ahead and start in our top corner. Zan, tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are going to be playing for us tonight.
Yeah, I am Zan. I'm a therapeutic dungeon master and professional GM and cool content creator, all that kind of stuff. I should have some things coming out pretty soon, but nothing too much to talk about at the moment. And I am playing Bastin. Yeah, that sounded right. Who is going to be a Fey scale dragonborn who is fairly angry and has a pretty efficient way of solving most of his problems. They do generally involve a headbutt. But you know, sometimes it could be an elbow. He is outrunning errands for the aunties and of Ahib, and is learning something new, seeing something interesting every day, and staying pretty close in contact with his ties back home. And you should know that he also has a familiar who is mean.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, tonight, our own Amira Ash, played by X the Transient, will not be able to be joining us tonight, but you can go check them out at X the Transient at Twitter. Moving on, up at the top, we have Timberdoodles. Who are you playing for us? And tell us a little bit about yourself and anything that's important that you think we should know.
Yes, I'm at Timberdoodles on Twitter. I'm a digital artist, and I play Reverie, a tiefling rogue who honestly was just kind of out exploring, doing his own thing, not running from the law or mercenaries or bandits he's angered or anything like that. Wow, it's I missed last time. It's been a while. Oh, this is gonna get interesting. And apparently now he has probably a magic arrow. I'm interested to see what that does. And I'm excited to see where we go.
All right, thank you so much. Next, moving right below that, Paraprofessional. Tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are going to be playing for us, and anything important that you would like us to know before we get started.
Hi, you can have my face this time, and I think that's the most important thing I have to say about myself right now. Finally managed to get me a webcam that I'm happy with at times. Dram Loomis, and I'll tell you what he's about, but I can't remember myself. Oh, Phantom Rogue. I think he was a grave digger at some point. He might be half crazy. I'm not. We'll find out together.
Excellent. I'm excited to see that one way or the other. Unfortunately, also, Ruli Uella will not be able to be playing with us tonight. You can find them, though, at Archival Dustbun, and So go follow her at her Twitter, and hopefully we'll be seeing her next week as well. And Raven, tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are going to be playing for us tonight, and anything else that's important that you think we should know about.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, I'm Raven. I am the creative director for the Raven Evermore, which is my brand for all the myriad of things that I do, most of which are tabletop related or writing or art. I'm also a professional game master. If you are interested in any of the stuff that I do, you can go check out theravenevermore.com. That's RAVYN for Raven, and then evermore.com. And then I'm playing Jinx. She's a 6-inch tall sprite who is a spell sniper, warlock, and sorcerer. Personality-wise, about if you took like Pinkie Pie from My Little Pony and Nora from Ruby, and you sort of combined those, and that's kind of what her personality's like. She's pretty hyper. I'm coming off of the flu and now sinus infection and bronchitis, so Jinx will probably be much less energy and hyper tonight, but just know normally she's very hyper. Anyways, that's me and Jinx.
Excellent. Well, we will definitely keep that in mind. And I am Andy Martinez. I'm your DM, your GM. I am the Feywilds and everyone and everything that lives inside of them. So let's go ahead and jump back into where we've left ourselves. It's been a little bit of time since we ourselves have been in here, so let's back up a little bit. You all, at the very beginning of your journey, had been picked up by King Oberyn after the at least six of the realms have been shoved together. And each of those 6 realms have also lost a piece of them. Each of them has lost an island, various sizes and various importance to the people that live there. And they all fly around in the sky now. After being summoned by the king, who has his own issues to worry about at the same time, most of the court besides him is off plane. They are nowhere to be seen, leaving him to deal with this by himself, leaving you to deal with this by yourself. After he's gone mad a little bit and directing you to go and figure this out for him. You explored the realm of Elassidir, traveling through a couple of different places, finding some of your old homes and some of your current homes. Afterwards, figuring out how to get up to the first island of Sylvanthi, the island of Karasha, where you found a lot of unique different organisms, and you yourself turned into some of these interesting organisms as well. After exploring a little bit, you discovered that there was a large fey dragon that existed here named Garvin, who wanted to play a game. After playing a little bit of hide and seek, and maybe a little bit more than that, entertaining Garvin as best you could, he finally said the game is over and wrestled instead, or on top of that, where defeating him, realized that he was not actually a full true dragon of the Feywild. Instead, he was a little sea slug, a little nudibranch, about a couple inches big, Jinx even smaller than you, of bright blues and bright oranges, of whites and blues, as he looks very similar to his old self of being a dragon, but in a much smaller form. You got to talking with Garvin a little bit more, learning about who he was and what he was capable of, and his belief about an entity known as Big G, who he is claiming that him and others like him worship as their deity. He gave you a little bit more information about them in the sense of they are in that general direction where the realms meet, but claiming that they were the ones responsible and they're the ones to seek out. After a little bit of time, you explored the rest of the island itself and interacted with Jeffrey the Giraffe, who you did discover was Jeffrey the Chull. And after a bit of a scuffle and hurling it off of a waterfall, you succeeded in your exploration of the island. After a little bit of time, a little bit of resting, you yourself jumped off the island and floated into the realm of Nymphador, where you encountered a strange lack of urgency, a few of you, as you landed, as the magic of the realms started to just make things not as important as they used to be. However, things that were important were things like the very pretty, good-smelling pink tumbleweed that Baskin, you encountered a little bit, and after sticking your arms into, got stuck to. And after some quick thinking, eventually, a couple of different tries, you were able to remove Baskin before lot more of those pink tumbleweeds started to show back up on top of the hills around you. Taking to the fields, moving significantly faster than those, you passed a lot of grasses, a lot of wildflowers of various colors under this bright, but not blinding blue sky of Nymphindor. Looking around, you see many herds of these really, really big animals, larger than anything that any of you have really seen in most of the realms that you are from. These are big things, and they all look like they have different variety of armor plates or horns or spikes or different types of attachments to their heads and shoulders. The thing that did encounter you, though, was something from the ground, as a curious bullet emerged, and after a couple of rounds of duking it out with you all, did decide it wasn't worth his time, and he did leave, leaving you to either cross the river or keep exploring. You crossed the river and found yourself at a small centaur camp where you met up with 3 different centaurs who introduced themselves as Natru, a hollow, and a little tiny centaur that is affectionately known as Little Mess. As you all kind of debriefed a little bit, they told you that their leader isn't with them right now. They went off and are doing some solo exploring in the evening, but we'll meet you in the morning. And they directed you to the tent where the whole lot of you buckled down and took a long rest. And that's where we will be picking up right here as you wake up in the morning, or are just awake already in the morning, as some of you don't always sleep the same way that everyone else does.
No, I do go outside and take a deep breath and, maybe use my wings and get real high and then say, what's going on?
Okay, go ahead and make a perception check for me.
I am terrible. All right, so we've got a 4.
Okay. Yeah, as you fly up into the sky, and it gets surprisingly chilly up there. And that kind of catches you off guard. Your eyes start to water a little bit. You can see that there is a great expanse of fields, a lot of hills around you. You can see that the river is still right there. There are herds of things, big things, over in that general direction. But as far as specifics, nothing really stands out very much with that.
Okay.
Your eyes are watery, though, and it's cold up there.
It was worth it for the reference.
All right. As you fly back down, the rest of you are also starting to, in the next hour or so, wake up.
Oh, yeah. Dram wakes up 30 feet away from camp, up against a... less nightmares last night, but the tree, the back is just not in it today. Gets up feeling like crap anyway. Do I need to roll a against the realm's effect?
Actually, yes, you and Baskin both do. Make a wisdom saving throw as you wake up.
19.
All right. And with both of those, yes, both of you are able to, whatever affected you yesterday, you are a lot more on point today. You kind of are aware that you weren't as focused yesterday, but the why is less relevant. But you today are a little bit more on it as far as any objections or objectives that you have.
So scratch that not feeling bad part. Dram wakes up his... There's that moment of, adventure's so nice. And then... Huh.
I think Baskin is going to, going to wake up and realize that, wait a second. Why was I sleeping? There's work to be done. Can't be having that. And we'll go down. We'll start trying to find something to eat before he goes out to put in some work for the day.
Okay.
So I think he'll try to be up fairly early if he can.
All right. Perfect. Are you going to try and find food, or what do you want to do for that?
Let's just see if there's any like cooking fires out and around.
Okay. Actually, there is already a cooking fire. It looks like it, depending on how early you're waking up. At the moment, though, it looks like it was lit last night. There's a couple of different embers. They're not actively lit, but they look like with a little bit of care, you can get that fire back up again.
Yeah, with yeah. Okay.
And as you all look around, by the way, you are the only folks in this camp right now. All of the centaurs that were here last night are not here currently.
I think he's gonna.
But it is fairly early still in the morning, right? It's about 6 a.m. or whatever it would be.
I think he's gonna take a piece of wood, like one of the larger pieces if he can find it, and try to snap it over his knee, and like do his fire monk strike stuff while he does it to kind of light things up and look around and realize that nobody was there to see how cool that was. Like it was real casual, but you want to be seen with it. Like, hello, hey, where is I'm going to eat all of your food. Okay. And we'll start loudly building a fire.
Okay. Yep. You're busy building a fire. No one's stopping you. It is out there. And it takes you a little bit of time. Yeah. What's everyone else doing while Baskin's building a fire? Or are you guys still asleep?
Dram's up. He's just taking a moment.
Okay.
So,
How's Revelry sleeping?
Oh, probably better. He spent most of yesterday recovering from feeling terribly embarrassed about being a dying otter, and then being weirded out by the pink tumbleweeds. So he's just happy he didn't dream of being a dying otter or dream about weird pink tumbleweeds.
And the dreams were safe from both of those, at least.
Yes.
And after about 30 minutes, 10 minutes it takes for Baskin to build this fire, you all just start to wake up. It looks like food. If you look around, it looks like are things to cook out available. You look around and you can see that there's a little basket. It looks like it's inside one of the other tents, but there's a little basket of eggs in there. It looks like it's got a couple little pieces of bread in there, but there's some food in there.
I mean, if Baskin's aware of it, then Baskin's just gonna start whipping something up. Probably eat one of the eggs raw. Just you don't want to cook hungry.
Sure.
So we'll just start with that, and we'll just start frying everything else up. But he will take just a second and pull out a tiny piece of burning wood and stick it in a little vial, and it's gonna write down "corpse of stolen light" as the fire turns into ash. I feel like, they haven't mentioned this in a while, but I really feel like this is going to come in handy at some point. It's got that poetic bullshit that they really like doing. I'm going to eat all of your food if no one comes out and has food with me.
Jinx will swing in, and she's 6 inches tall, so she grabs like the tiniest morsel of food and just starts stuffing her face. Probably through, the food that she's just cramming in her mouth. She'll be like, "Hey, this is really good, Baskin. Thanks for making food." I can't do Jinx's voice today, so imagine that in Jinx's normal voice.
as you all munch on breakfast and kind of just chill. About another hour goes by, and then up on top of one of the hills, looking around, let's see, who would see this first? Revelry, you would definitely see this first. You look over and you can see that there are 4 centaurs that are heading back over in your general direction. And as you all kind of take note, Revelry's looked over and now you all see that there are 4 of them. 3 of them you recognize. One of them is significantly smaller than the others, kind of running around behind them and in front of them, as the other 3 are walking, not necessarily in pace with each other, but not too far off, as they all just walk straight into the camp. And you look up and you recognize 3 of these. Running around in the back is Little Mess. He's got a head full of messy braids, some of them sticking out in different places. You recognize a Hollow, who is wearing a red and gold robe. And these are the same robes kind of style that you saw from the centaurs that were in Eris. A Hollow is wearing a red with gold constellations on it. Nataru is wearing a green robe with yellow constellations on it. And the one that you have not met yet is a rather large centaur who is wearing shaved sides of their head. And you can see that there are constellations shaved into the side of their head. And they have a really long, thick braid that goes all the way down. And they are wearing a black robe with white constellation patterns on it. As they look back and survey all of you, a Hollow in the red and gold speaks out first. Hey, help yourself to breakfast. We did put that out for you. This is Tessaleron, and they would like to speak with you. And they gesture over to the one in the black. As they walk forward slowly and say, "Good morning. My name is Tessaleron. Today, you may call me Tessaleron, or Tess if you would like to. What brings you to our realm of Nymfindor, may I ask?" "I've heard a little bit from these 3, but I would like to hear it from you as well."
Hi, hello. I am a traveling envoy from Ahib. If there is anything you want me to take to the swamps, that is fine. I will do that for you. Hi.
Hello. It is wonderful to meet you. I hear that you are looking at the islands. Is this correct?
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, what we can do to help you, we will. Welcome. And they sit down. And the other centaurs follow suit. As they bring back a little basket. It looked like they had also been out collecting various types of foods. They have a little bit more eggs, a little bit more. There's a few mushrooms in there, but a couple of pieces of nice looking leafy greens as they add to the breakfast. And anything you want to chat them up about, you can do right now as well. But
Is the island we jumped from still in sight, or has it floated?
Ooh, great question. So the island you jumped from, you cannot really see anymore. Actually, go ahead and make a perception check as you look for it. And anybody who would like to can check this. Okay.
That's not great.
All right. Dram, actually, you see what you think could be it. There's definitely a speck in the air that direction. And from what you know, we were coming from that direction. So it's probably that one, but it's real far out there.
I think it's right about there.
Jinx.
We were-
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry. We actually were just on one of the islands. We just left one of the islands. And Reverie kind of points in the general direction that Dram was.
Excuse me, we are leaving out some very important details. We just left one of the islands, but we did just leave one of the islands on top of a flying triceratops, so that might be the cooler part of we just left an island, you know.
Yes, and there was the dragon wrestling as well. Of course, we can't leave that out.
Sometimes islands floats is all I'm saying.
As you're adding these details, you can see that Tessalaron is like not really impressed with these pieces of information, but Nataru and Little Mess are like, what? What? There was a dragon? What? You can see them like kind of whispering to each other. Tess continues. Well, we were also at what is currently an island. Unfortunately, we took a trip, and we apparently should not have, but now it's our mission to bring it back as well. You said you were on that one, the one that flew overhead. The one from Sylvanthi? Is that, What did you find there? Anything that we can use to track them, or we have never been to one of them. Did you find anything?
Jinx just starts like explaining, yes, but she's still just stuffing her face. So a lot of the details are a little bit muffled or jumbled because she's not bothering to finish chewing before she talks. But she's like, yeah, we came from that island, and there was this dragon thing, and he was kind of troublesome, like what we were just saying. But do you know anything about a big G? I think that was the main piece of information we got.
I can't say that rings a bell. I will be honest, I know about the stars and the constellations, but that is not one that I am familiar with.
Apparently this dragon, and Reverie puts dragon in air quotes, had a hoard at the bottom of a lake, and in this hoard was a crystal orb that was supposed to be at Sylvanthi's portal, and our intrepid Selkie friend said it had a crack in it.
Oh. Well, that is curious. I do know that Nymphador's crystal has also been missing since this occurred. I wonder if it is also on our island. As they look up in just a general direction. Well, I have not been to our portal. Maybe we will be able to find clues there. But this is not a good sign. We need our Warseer stay so that we can be able to foresee. And if we cannot foresee, how will we know what will happen next? And Tess gets quiet as one of the other ones, Naturu, speaks up, and the green and the yellow. And he goes, okay. He's got shorter cropped black hair. He's definitely younger. He looks to be about maybe late teens, early 20s. But okay, so I feel like this was a little bit of my fault. And as he says that, Ahalo looks over, who's certainly older. And he's, no, this was not any of our faults. It's like, well, we had to go out for my thing, and we weren't there when it just left. No, but you deserve your, you needed it, and it's okay. It wasn't your ascension ritual. I feel like it was, but as Tess goes, stop it, both of you. We will find it, and it will come back to us. Now breathe. And they both settle down. Well, we are at your service here. Anything that you can do to provide help for us, we will appreciate. But figuring out this crystal situation feels like maybe the next step. Or this big G, which that is new to me. I am unsure about this one. We might find somebody at the West Star who might be able to help us, but...
What's the West Star? That sounds interesting.
Oh, well, you are here at the North Star, and they gesture around to the 4 tents that are around you. This is the outpost that those of us in our sect will travel to when we head off to the Warseer's Day, and they gesture just up the river. Up in that direction is where our shrine, our divination area resided. Past there, though, is where we bring those who are ascending the ranks to prove themselves. Natru over here did so just recently. But as we had left the Warseer's Day and made it to the proving grounds on our way back after a successful ascension, we saw that Natru was not the only thing that had ascended, as it was gone and in the air. Now we are on our way back. The West Star is our western outpost. It is the larger hub here in Nymphindor. There are many shops. There are many people. There's a many trade. That is also where the portal exists here in Nymphindor as well. So if there is knowledge or people or things to seek that are in this realm, that would be a good place to at least start, I think.
That sounds like a good plan.
Well, wonderful. We can set out whenever you are ready.
Oh, real quick before we go though, those stupid things that make the holes outside, the bullets. Do you like ever eat them? Is there like good food on one of those things?
Oh, well, we do not.
If you tell me that you are a vegetarian right now, I'm really going to be very upset.
No, but we have other means of providing food that are not as underground.
I mean, there's good eating on a moor too.
If you would like to dig for one.
And I think Baskin will look to Lychee and just mutter,
Man, I cannot get under this person's skin. What is wrong with him?
Well, whenever you are ready. And they stand up, and the other centaurs stand up, and Little Mess continues running around in the background as they all slowly head off to pick up any of supplies that they need. They look like they're getting ready to go.
Reverie kind of looks at Bosky and says, "Well, you know, those things live underground. I'm sure if you you know, stomped your feet and made enough noise and annoyed one enough, they'd get pissed off and come up to say hello." And he kind of chuckles and turns to off the rest of.
Baskin is, to prove a point, going to start stomping on the ground and yelling,
Hey! Hey, you stupid fucking worm thing with fucking legs! Stand up! Get up here! I really want to punch you!
and just being aggressive towards the ground in general.
Jinx is gonna fly right alongside Boskin and just yell at the ground, just not necessarily because it will actually help, but just because she wants to feel like she's helping.
Okay. Basket, just go ahead and roll a d20 for me.
I don't know if a 20 or a 1 would be good in this situation. 16.
It's a really good stomping you're doing. You're kicking up a lot of dust. As Little Mess sees you and also starts clomping around in the dirt, kicking over, you know, whatever they can find at this point, kicking some plants and, you know, kicking some rocks. And Ahala looks over. Little Mess, come on. And they kind of just run off after them. No bullets, though.
Nah.
I think Dram, just for the sake of role plays, is gonna unsheath his fancy little moonlight touch sword, light stinger, and he's gonna pull out a dagger, and he's gonna just sort of go through the routine of dual wielding, which you can gather from watching for even 2 seconds that he has not done in a long time. And just sort of practice off to the side before leaving.
All right. Anything else you want to do before you get going? All right. As you all gather up all your stuff, anything you need, and start to head off towards the same direction that the river is going. You know which direction they gestured that they had came from. You are going the opposite direction, downstream. As you also notice that they do not pick up the tents. They don't really clean up the campfire. They just kind of leave all the stuff that they are not going to carry with them right where it is. And they just keep trekking. As you travel at not a super rushed pace, they aren't running. If you would like to move any faster than them, that is up to you. But they are not really in a sprinting hurry. They aren't traveling slowly, but they are traveling with purpose at this point. So it is not overexertion, but they're moving a little bit. And after an hour or so of trekking, following this river, you pass a lot of different colored grasses. And all of you, this is new, right? This is a place that you have really never been to before. And whether or not you are used to having trees everywhere or water that you can't really quite see through, or palm trees and grass and rocks and mountains, this is just an expanse of grassland, of fields, some trees, some shrubs. This water is clear. It's beautiful. You can see the bottom of it. There's round rocks that are speckled all the way down this river. You can see that there are some fish that are floating in there, swimming around. And about 2 hours into your trek, you come across part of the river that looks a little bit different. Part of this river is, it looks to be little pools and puddles that are off to the side of the river itself, as the water isn't clear anymore here. The water, in fact, looks kind of like this area has been stagnant for a long time. It looks kind of like the water here is mucky and dark and kind of gray in a way. And you can see, actually, right now, everyone go ahead and make a perception check as you just look over, see what you got.
Rolls are brutal for me so far today.
Yeah, for real.
I got a 6.
Oh, okay. Well, Jinx, you get a little bit distracted. Well, just a little bit.
Shocking.
I know. Never happens. As everybody else can see that in this shallow hollow by this stream is bones of some type of animal or some type of thing. There's not any flesh on it anymore, but there are bones sticking out of this still liquid. And you can see that on one of the branches that's sticking up out of the water as well by the bank is a black bird that is just kind of hanging out right there. And it looks at you as you approach, and it looks down at the bones. Just kind of cocks its head.
Jinx is gonna wave whenever she gets around to noticing the bird. She'll wave
Yeah.
at it.
And Jinx, once there's a bird involved, you look around and you recognize this. This is a raven that's just kind of hanging out here. As you wave at it, it goes "Rah, rah," and flies up and starts to circle a little bit.
That was a really good raven call there. That was impressive.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah, for real. Spot on.
I think Jinx will just look at that and be like, huh, it's a little rude there. Okay.
So what do we call that? An attempted murder?
Oh, that was good.
Just out of curiosity, did Lychee react like he did when the other bird was around? When the stupid bird.
Well, you tell me. This is not the same type of bird. So how would
Okay.
Lychee react to seeing?
If it felt
Raven
like a normal run of the mill raven, it would probably be like a I'm going to attack you kind of thing. But if it would have been anything like too Raven Queen E, he probably would have just stayed the fuck away.
I mean, it is a raven. Nothing about it particularly screams. It's not like wearing a cape or something.
Okay.
Right.
Then
It's
I
just
think the attempted murder might just be Lychee holding on to Baskin holding on to Lychee. That might be the attempted murder.
Lychee's trying to get out of this bird then, as it's up in the air.
So we see bones.
Mhm.
So Dram turns to Tess. Bones usual here, or
Well, things do die, and things do eat the flesh. So, bones are not the most uncommon here. Nymphindor can be beautiful, but it can be harsh as well.
I'll definitely keep that in mind when I sleep.
Unless there is something particularly interesting in there, we should best leave it, as Tess continues to move.
Baskin's gonna go and check it out and see, like, at least try to figure out what kind of creature left these bones.
Okay.
No.
How are you checking? What are you doing?
Just gonna be like digging around through, looking for leg bones and stuff. You can learn a lot from a good leg bone.
Okay. You going in the water or?
Yeah, we'll tromps on over into the water.
Okay. As you get close to this water, it is really, really stagnant. I mean, that might not mean much to Bastion, but it's mucky and gray looking, very still.
Like, how far away would it be? Are the bones from the shore?
The bones are about 10, 15 feet off the shore. They're kind of in a pool, so it's not like free floating river, but.
I think Baskin might stop and like look to everybody else and go,
Do you think these bones are really worth looking at? Do you think there's anything here, or is this just like bones?
Probably bones. Tess doesn't think anything's out of the ordinary.
Are we out of character? Are we sure that's water?
I mean, I'm sure.
Those bones are.
I'm not sure of anything at the moment.
We have no idea.
I'm sure I'm suspicious. That's about it.
Yeah.
I think Baskin will look over to Lychee and go,
can you take a look at, please look at the thing over here.
And we'll see through Lychee's eyes as he politely asks him to go and look at the bones.
Yeah. Is he just flying right next to him? Is he landed on it? Is he?
He's gonna, like, if it seems sturdy, he'll land on it. But he would rather not get wet.
Yeah, it looks like this is kind of stuck. It looks like in this area, it's less of water-y and more of like kind of oilish and tarish as you get a little bit closer to it. So it looks like he could land on this, and it'll have a little bit of give, but it's not going to sink necessarily.
Then he'll land on it.
Okay. And as he does, go ahead and make an investigation check for Lychee.
Ooh, investigate. Oh no. That's bad. Oh, birds are dumb.
Birds are... yeah, that's fair.
Birds are...
Oh no.
Woof.
That was a natural one with a -4. Oh god.
Oh, buddy.
That's
This thing's for
Wowza.
surely bones. It's for sure bones, probably. And as Lychee lands on this and starts... Now, the thing that really catches Lychee's attention is there's a little specks of meat still on this bone. And Lychee just starts picking at these little meat bits as you could watch this bone as the oil and tar around you, as you're sitting on the bank, starts to roil and bubble as this whole thing, all of this oil in all of these little pools, all of this gray, slick liquid starts to rise. As what was here is taking up most of the riverbank. It is huge. It is a massive ooze. As you all look around, it is right in front of you. Tess looks behind and says, "Oh, we didn't leave it alone." And I need everyone to roll initiative.
Nobody said anything about leaving it alone.
I was team leave it alone.
Well, then you should have said you were team leaving alone, team captain.
I told you to leave it alone. What do you mean?
Well, you say a lot of things too.
Matt.
Oh no.
Okay, not been an awful night of rolls for me. Nice.
All right, let's see what we got. So we got 19 for Jinx and for Dram. Who has the higher modifier there? I think, well, with one roll the 3, one roll the 8, so probably Jinx.
Yeah, Dex mod is 3.
Okay, okay.
I'm
And
also 3.
Okay. How did you get a 19 with a 3? Oh, no, I see. Wait, no, I don't. How'd you get a 19 with a 3?
I have a.
I don't know.
Oh no, sorry. I have the alert feed.
Oh, I see. Cool.
Voices of the dead let me know when I'm in danger.
Awesome. Let's do rollies then. Unless you don't care. Unless you can just figure it out on your own. You'll be gone at the same time.
I'm good with Dram going first if you want to.
All right, cool.
All right, yeah, sure.
And
I feel like our characters just have this very brief chipmunks sort of thing. Like, no, after you. No, after you. I insist.
well, right now, you all can see that this is a huge, and I do not use that word lightly, a huge ooze that is now taking up almost 15, 20 feet of this riverbank as it emerges from the river where it sat originally. And these bones come with it. As you can now see kind of vaguely through it, it is not the only organism in there. There are a couple of different things with a couple of different bones that are inside of this thing. As Dram, you are up first. You are not too far away from the riverbank, within 30 feet. What would you like to do?
Okay. I'll go first. Okay. I don't think Dram necessarily wants to directly tangle with this thing. Just yet. So I'm gonna whip out. Yeah, I'm gonna whip out a second. Instead of whipping out Light Stinger, pulls out both daggers.
Okay.
And I'm gonna just throw 2 daggers.
All right.
Except I only made one for offhand and not main hand.
Are these just standard metal daggers?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I don't like that. I don't like that you have to ask that question.
I was just curious.
Sorry, just making it. Just quickly making a dagger. Okay, cool.
Okay.
So action, I throw a dagger and that one.
And it does follow, it does fly right. It's a big target. And Dram tripped a little bit.
Right. Okay.
As it
Seeing
boosh
that.
into the river next to it. No, it's your second one.
I'm still gonna go for it. Sure.
All right.
Offhand.
Hey, that one does it.
And that's just a pure D4. No, that's sorry. I keep forgetting I have to press this on the 2 damage.
All right. Nice.
Every bit helps, right?
As the you can see your dagger, first one flies off wide, second one just stops immediately on impact in this thing. Jinx, you're up.
Yeah, so Jinx is going to fly back and up at a diagonal as far as I can go in one turn and still attack.
Yep.
And
you can, you're yep.
and then it's gonna, of course, with her sniper wand, rifled stick thing, we'll flip to the right lens that she wants, and just looks at this giant ooze and goes, "Hey there, buddy, need a light?" And attack with firebolt.
Okay. Go ahead and roll.
Because what she's hoping is this thing looks like tar, maybe it's flammable. Or oil, or whatever. So 12?
All right. A 12 does hit. Go ahead and roll your damage.
18 fire damage.
18 fire damage. As you hit this thing, it kind of does the opposite. It feels like you hit it, and the fire kind of sizzles out. It does deal damage and it does react, but not as much as you were thinking and hoping.
I think Jinx will probably just mutter, be like, "That was a great line, ruined it on a fizzle." Just sort of mutter to herself like that. That's my turn.
All right, Baskin, you are right next to this thing. What do you want to do?
Hey, why are we trying to fight this? We should fucking move.
And Baskin is going to move away from this. Move
Okay.
away from this terrifying creature. It is an ooze. We are so much faster. I'm not gonna.
No.
Baskin is going to just move, and then he will spend his 30 feet to get 30 feet away, and if something happens on the way out, that might change things.
Okay. As you do, it's going to make an opportunity attack at you as you are right next to it. So keep that in mind as well.
All right.
Wait, you're moving, yeah? Just checking.
I think if I get the feeling that it is waiting for me to move, I might.
It would make, yeah.
Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend a key point to disengage as a bonus action.
Okay.
And then I will action and movement 60 feet away and encourage everyone else.
Hey, you really need to fucking get away from this thing. It could just hold you and you would die.
And we'll bamf Lychee out of the area in question.
Okay. Yeah. As you move 60 feet out, as Lychee leaves also, as Nataru is next, as he whips out his curved, and you have seen this kind of blade before also. It's another one of those curved moon-like blades, the same one that you recognize from Justin Carlisle. As he kind of looks over at Tess, who looks over at you all and kind of gives him a look as he throws his blade, and it slices into this thing and gets stuck. And you could see it start to glow a little bit as he deals some amount of damage. Okay, awesome. And with a bright flash, his blade vanishes and appears back in his hand. As the ooze is up. As this thing just got stabbed a little bit, and then stabbed a little bit more than that. All of you who are within 30 feet see this thing start to just grow and expand and get bigger as it is enlarging and becoming a gargantuan sized ooze. As it rolls forward, I need everybody who has not moved away, which is everybody except for Jinx and Bashkin, and I think that is it, to make a dexterity saving throw for me as this thing gets a little bit bigger. A lot of bit bigger. It's doubling in size.
Dex saving throw.
Okay. Let's take one for them. All right. As everybody that's on the side of this riverbank starts to back up, and Revelry just falls and trips as this thing gets a little bit too close. And it is going to whip out with its pseudopod and attack at you, Revelry. And that is going to be a natural one first, which is, and 19 to hit. which is going to probably do it. I need to roll a couple of damage dice.
Yeah, my AC is 14.
Yeah.
so-
All right, but first you'll
No,
have to unlock
don't.
your device.
And that's going to deal to you 14 acid damage. Oh, I'm sorry. No, that's going to be 24 acid damage. As this thing is enlarged and did smack you with its second attack.
Can I use Uncanny Dodge to negate that?
That one is, I think, Uncanny Dodge is for dex saves. So that would have been, you can negate the fail on the dex save of it getting bigger, which means that it'll roll at disadvantage on that. And it rolled a disadvantage. Well, that's still a -1. And then that's going to be an 18 instead. Ugh.
Still
I
not
did
great.
I did disadvantage.
Still
on
not
that.
great, but it's
Yeah.
it's better than 24.
It's a little bit better. Yeah. So then 18 acid damage for that one. And what kind of armor are you wearing, Revelry?
Leather armor.
Okay. Then you're okay. As this thing didn't grab you, but you have been slapped by a very acidic pseudopod. Tess is up next. As they look over, and from the top of the hill, you just see them clap their hands, and this branch of electricity sparks between their fingers as they clap again, and the electricity hits onto Nacho's weapon. And now the weapon that you just saw used is now crackling with lightning energy as well. As a hollow is up on the hill as well, they're going to pull out their bow and arrow, and they're going to take 2 attacks. Both of them are going to hit, and they are going to deal 2 arrows worth of damage into this ooze as well. Revelry, you're up.
Discretion is the better part of valor, especially when dealing with giant things that can, as Baskin said, kill you by touching you. So I am going to move 30 feet away and then use cunning action to disengage.
As you move, okay, great, perfect. Never mind then.
Ah!
Aha! Okay, yeah. So you're 30 feet out.
I may be a coward, but I'm a coward that's still alive for now.
That's the important part. Dram. Oh, Little Mess also gets to go, and you could just, he's out. Little Mess is running off. Dram, you're up.
Yeah, suppose I shall also do the rogue thing and disengage.
Okay.
Bonus action, disengage, movement 30 feet back. Why not? I throw both daggers. Can I pull my short bow?
Yeah, I'll say you can.
All right, and then just I guess we're getting the hell out of here, but I'll still try to fire at it.
Okay, on your way out, go ahead and make an attack.
Why not? Hey, okay.
All right, that's gonna hit.
And okay.
Okay. Awesome.
Note to self, leave the strange pools of liquid alone.
Jinx, you're up.
Pardon me. So Jinx is going to basically is flying at an angle. So her head's top of her head sort of pointed in the direction that she's going. And she's just holding this sniper rifle magic wand sort of down the length of her body, so she's looking down at her feet to shoot at this thing. And it didn't seem to mind fire that much, so she's going to try Ray of Frost on it this time.
Okay.
For 26.
26 is going to hit.
For 6 cold damage, and then it's got a thing. I believe it slows it down. Speed is reduced by 10 feet until the start of my next turn.
Okay. As you blast this thing with your Ray of Frost, the damage doesn't seem like it, again, doesn't do exactly what you're looking for, but the effect does. As this thing was growing and was moving a little bit closer to all of you still, you've now seen that the bottom of this has now solidified, as this thing is currently frozen in place. And Baskin, you're up.
Great. So this thing spent it got 30 feet closer last turn, right?
Yep.
Okay. Cool. I think in that case, here's everything. I think that Baskin will stop, and before he takes off running this time, we'll take a real deep breath, and having seen fire not be super effective and cold not being super effective, we'll just try something new, and is going to open his mouth loudly, and you kind of see his neck and his cheeks kind of push out for just a second, and he will use a key point to use a breath weapon, and it is going to breath weapon. Oh no, I don't even have to use a key point for that. I'm just going to do a 2d6 thunder breath on it.
All right.
And it is a DC 13 reflex save.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, I don't have thunder as an option. In which case I will do lightning. Lightning seems fine.
Okay. That is a 3 minus 2 is a 1.
Yeah. And we'll deal a whole 7 damage with that, and then we'll take another deep breath in and book it the other direction, another 60 feet.
Okay. As you're getting out of there, this ooze is frozen. Its movement has gone down to 0, as it is currently frozen in place. How long does that effect last, by the way, Jinx?
It was until my turn.
Okay, great.
The beginning or end?
Uh,
Start of my next turn.
Yeah, okay. Then it's frozen right now. As Tess is still at the top of the hill, you guys are all heading over in their general direction. Naturo gets to go first. Again, he's also going to throw his weapon, and that is going to hit, and it is going to now deal even more damage as you see this thing once again cut through, and once it gets inside, there's a bolt of lightning energy inside of this thing as well. But he's going to summon his blade back and turn back around. Again, the ooze is frozen. Ahalo will shoot another arrow, but not really get any closer to it. And that is going to hit. Revelry. What do you want to do? Everyone seems to be moving away from this thing as it's frozen in place currently.
Yeah, Reverie gonna put another 30 feet between himself and that ooze. Can I draw my short bow and at least take a pot shot at it while I'm running?
Absolutely, you can.
And can I sneak attack on it?
Yeah.
Too far away.
It's frozen right now. It has no idea where you are.
All right, so 19.
That'll hit.
Ooh, 9 sneak and 5 piercing.
Okay. All right. And with that, unless anybody wants to go back to this thing, it sounds like everybody is moving away
Oh, no.
down the road. As you,
You're a slow ass piece of phlegm and you should feel bad.
yeah, this thing did not get to move at all after that. As you can still see it over the hill, it got really tall too. It was maybe also 30, 40 feet up as well. It is a huge, gargantuan sized cube.
Amazing.
As you all walk away. Continuing down the river, the water gets a lot clearer and it turns into the same type of river that you had been seeing earlier. All the grass is still breezy and nice and beautiful. And that's where we're going to go ahead and take a break. And we're going to come back and see what happens next in a little bit.
Awesome. We'll be right back. And we are back.
Welcome back, everybody. So we're going to jump right back to where we just left off. We have just been trekking through the realm of Nymphador, following this crystal clear river up until it wasn't so crystal clear, as you all just did find several pools of mucky, gray, oily-ish liquid that did turn out to be a huge and then gargantuan ooze. As taking a couple of pot shots at it, dealing a little bit of damage, leaving very abruptly. You are now continuing on your trek through the realm of Nymphador, heading from the North Star to the West Star. It is still bright. It's only been 2-3 hours of travel. As you continue on your way, a hollow comes up next to you, one of the centaurs that you're riding with, and says, okay, well, it's not actually that long of a trek. We will definitely get there before the night is over for sure if we just keep going. But there's one little pit stop that we might have to make on the... watch out. And above your heads, you can see a boulder flying through the sky. As it lands within 10 feet from you. And you look over the hill from the direction that this thing came from, and you can see that there is a wall. There is several little turrets, little towers, and you can see through this wall. It looks more of like a wooden fence more than anything else, or a makeshift fence. On the inside, you can see that there is a building. It looks to be a kind of an older looking temple. And I need everyone just to make a perception check as you just get a general idea of what's ahead of you. All right. Jinx, you're a little bit...
20.
Yeah, I see that. That's good. Jinx, you're a little bit shook. There's this big boulder, and it's right there. Woof! Woof! That was really close to somebody. But Dram and Reverie and Baskin specifically, Dram, you can see this, so you got a little bit higher than that also. But inside of the fenced off area, you can see that there looks to be pastures. There looks to be a lot of different types of plants. In one section, you can see like a huge swath of sunflowers. In another, you can see that there's a big field of grain. In another, you can see that there is a lot of these larger birds that you don't quite recognize. In another, there looks to be some leafy greens. In another, there looks to be these really big animals, things that you've seen out in the plains before with those large antlers. Whatever they are, there's a bunch of them, and they're inside the walls over here. You also recognize some goats. You also recognize a couple of other types of plants that, whether or not you recognize them directly, this looks to be like a place with pastures and farmland and animals and plants. And sitting in the middle is the river. This is on both sides of the river. And in kind of bridging the river itself is a structure that looks kind of like a rundown kind of temple more than anything else. It looks like it hasn't been really prepared, although sitting at the top of it, you can see a bright golden yellow stone that is, from even where you're sitting, you can see this bright light that is just emanating out of it at the top of this other hill. As sitting or standing right just outside the wall is a figure, massive, easily 20-25 feet tall, with one big eye in the middle of its face. Holding or sitting next to it is another boulder. And the one right next to you, the boulder that was just thrown, starts to move as arms and legs both emerge out of it as it unravels itself. As you can see these tiny little eyes and a really small mouth on this big boulder that has now stood up right next to you as it looks over at all of you and talks in. It sounds like someone's smashing rocks together a little bit, more than anything else. As Tess looks over at it, well, welcome, Gobi. Thank you for meeting us. We will be happy to go see Morris now, but we are just simply passing through. As this rock just shifts a little bit, cracking and crunching on itself as it rolls up and becomes once again a boulder. As you're all at the top of the hill, Tess says, looks over at all of you. Well, we do have to pass this way, but be respectful, and I think you'll be okay. As they continue down the hill.
I think right after she says, be respectful, Jinx, probably a little bit too loudly, was looking around and just says, what is up with this place and the super giants? Why is everything huge?
As you don't know if Tess really responded, doesn't really look back at you, but everyone else starts moving over.
I think Jinx just calls out after her, then goes, and rude! And then goes about her business.
As you catch up, she does look over at you, or they do look over at you and say, well, here in Nymphindor, the magic runs deep, and we are provided for. Things here are different, I imagine, than where you are from. You have a lot of things living in a small area. We have fewer things in a much larger zone. Those of us who exist can afford to exist grandly, or within enough space if we share.
I guess that makes sense.
As
It's
this
just
boulder-
very
Oh, yeah,
different.
go.
She just trails off with this. It's just very different. And just sort of loses interest in the conversation and, sort of wanders off.
All right. As this rock figure starts rolling down the hill, and the other 4 centaurs start heading down also. You following? What are you guys up to?
Yeah, we'll follow, but if everyone else is ahead of us so far, I think Baskin will stop and take just a second to just write a little update. Since there are no eyes on right at this moment, we're going to just write Palmera. We're gonna just write Palmera real quick and just let her know where we are, what the events have been, and like North Star moving to West, North Pole moving to West Pole. That's the phrase.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll also we'll also pull out the, what was that I swiped off that person? What was that? I got a writing sample. Yeah, I'm gonna take my copy of the Centaur's map and I'm just gonna start looking at how stuff was written on it. No big reason why.
Okay. All right. Yeah. As you write, you give your message to Palomera, and as you write these words, as soon as you're done with the last punctuation on your statement, the ink fades away into the pages, and you waiting for a response. You're closing up and seeing it later.
It'll be waiting there when I get there next time. I couldn't respond anyway.
Yep. You close up your book and yeah, look at your map. Perfect. As the rest of you start to head down. And as you get a little bit closer, this is a pretty big area. The brightness from this massive rock that's sitting up here is at least 1,000 feet on each side. And as you get a little bit closer, it's brilliant. It is a bright, bright light. And it's spreading over the entire plot of land that is currently fenced off in, again, the most kind of ramshackly way. As you all start to head down the hill, the rock that has been thrown at you rolls a little bit faster and faster down the hill until it stops down at the base and it stands back up. And it looks like from where you are, the three of those, or the two folks that are down there, now three as you look continuously, the other rock that is there also stands up. And there are now two of these rock creatures that are sitting right here. Dram, go ahead and make a history check for me.
Okay. I actually have proficiency in history. Wow, okay. Okay.
All right. Dram, you actually recognize these rock organisms. They are familiar to you, especially with a 21. Maybe you've even known some. These are Galebduras, and they are elemental, and these ones are Fey, but they are medium elementals that live usually in Umbervale. The fact that you're seeing them here, you haven't really heard that they live anywhere else. They really prefer the rocks than the heavy terrain. They really like, they're from the plane of Earth. So they really focus on that a lot more. And seeing two of them here, let alone just one of them, is really, really unique to you. You haven't really heard of any of these that are outside of either the elemental plane of Earth or the realm of Umbervale, as far as you're aware. But you have seen these before. You know that they're pretty durable. They don't speak a lot of Sylvan, really. So communicating with them is a little bit tedious. But they do speak things like Terran. They do speak things like Giant as well. So
What do I speak? Abyssal. I guess it'd be Sylvan instead of Common.
yeah, Sylvan instead of Common.
Elvish and Primordial. Don't think I check any of the boxes.
Well, at least that's what you know.
Yeah, so Dram. Okay, so Dram, it took a second to recognize what they are. Gets really excited. Runs a checklist of, right, how can I communicate? And then realizes, okay, I don't exactly have a way, but we'll still sort of go towards and, hey, hi, yeah, Dram. My name is Dram. It's nice to meet you.
Are you talking to the rocks?
Yes.
Okay. As you approach both of them, standing in the middle of them is a Cyclops that is standing again almost 25 feet tall. And as you start to talk to the two Galebduras, the Cyclops kind of links down. You know, they're not really going to be able to talk to you, right?
Yeah, yes. I'm from Umbervale.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right. Well, I'll leave you to it. But if you want me to relay a message, I could probably do that for you. I mean, I do. Anyway, if you already know what you're up to, you can do you. Sorry, I didn't mean to intrude. And she stands back up.
Absolutely no problem. It's just, it feels good to be around something that reminds me of home.
And as you start to talk to these two Galebduras, they look at you inquisitively and just kind of look at each other. And they kind of just reach their one of them right next to you reaches his hand up and just,
Put my hand out as well.
and they give you a little. It's the size of your hand difference is pretty bonkers. As, but they give you a little high five as they are definitely talking to each other. But what they are saying, you're not quite sure. You know that they're communicating though.
Yeah, Dram just tries to compensate by, lots of hand movements and still talking in Sylvan, but still trying to compensate for just like not being able to communicate directly with just hand movements and just anything he could think of.
What are you trying to relate to them?
Bridget. It's less of like it's more of like, oh, I'm so glad to see you here. Sort of people that I'm familiar with in such a strange place makes me feel very comfortable. Very comfortable.
All right. Go ahead and make a performance check for me with advantage.
I'm gonna need that advantage.
Yeah, I figured.
No bard. Oh, come on.
Man.
I was
okay.
so
That's
into
okay.
this.
As they recognize a couple of the things that you're trying to convey to them, at least, and they're communicating with themselves. They're thinking about it. They're pretty interested in this whole thing, but the communication is still a little bit iffy.
It's okay. I'm just chatting it up a little bit. And maybe Dram, for the first time since you've seen him in this whole campaign, is actually smiling.
Nice. As everybody heads down the hill, and you see the Cyclops turn around, and they have, as you get a little bit closer, you can see that they're wearing kind of, it looks like clothes that maybe they've even made themselves, that kind of are stitched together denim or plant matter, or they have a little bit of sticks and leaves sticking out of their pockets and plants, and their hair is kind of short in the front and got a little bit of oomph in the back, as they are wearing this really, really big straw hat, as they look over at Tess and say, okay, well, it's wonderful to see you again, but I will be honest, I'm not entirely sure who all you are. I hope you didn't mind me throwing bogey at you, but you can't, I gotta be careful. Who are y'all? My name's Morris. Welcome to my farm. I should probably start with that. I apologize. I'm sorry. I've been a little bit. I've been a little bit in a sore spot for just a little bit, but I'm trying to be my old hospitable self, and that's who I am. I appreciate you coming to Morris Farm. Can I offer you a tour after I learn your names, please?
I'm Drim. It's very, very nice. Very good to be here. Very good to be here.
Jinx will fly up kind of close to their face, not like in their face, but close enough that they'll notice her because she's, very tiny by comparison. And Waves is like, "Hi, I'm Jinx."
Oh, well, hi there. You're mighty small. She kind of puts up a finger towards you.
Jinx will land on the finger.
Wow, I'll bet. I don't think I ever seen anything as little as you.
That's all right. I hadn't really ever seen anything as big as you.
Well, ain't that just something? Look at you. Wow. I love it. I love it.
Jinx
She's
is
very into
like,
it.
Jinx is like, Jinx really likes attention, so she's enjoying this attention, but at the same time, it's like, you're really big. So it's like, simultaneously happy and nervous laughter. As she's just communicating with, is it Morris or
Morris,
Maurice?
yeah.
Morris.
Morris.
Communicating with Morris, and she's like, "Yeah, I come from the forest." And the player can't remember her homeland name, but that place. She goes on to like rattle off details about how tiny their houses are by comparison, and what they drink out of, and things like that.
Well, I'll be. Well, I'm glad you're here, and I'm not hanging out in your neck of the woods because I gotta be honest, I don't think that would work real good. So, welcome to my farm. Is all I gotta say. Hey, it's wonderful to meet you. What's your name? I don't remember if you said it or not.
Yeah, she did.
Hey,
She'll say it
it's
again.
wonderful to meet you, Jinx. She forgot. And you. She points at you, Reverie.
Revery's looking just a little bit worse for wear. He was kind of looking at the Gallopers because he's never seen anything like that before. Not staring, mind you. He knows better than that. And he kind of turns around and he's wondering, okay, is it gonna? What are the odds? Coin flip on recognizing my actual name. Then forget it.
You can make an
yeah.
insight check if you'd like.
You know what? I might just do that. Let's see how good we do here. 12.
You feel pretty comfortable that you have no idea who this is. So they probably have no idea who you
Yeah,
are.
they seem fairly friendly, and it's like, you know what? Fine, I'm tired, whatever. Reverie, it's very lovely place you have here. Very nice crops. It looks, I mean, if the sun shines all the time, good growing.
Well, it does now. And even when it's cloudy up in the sky, we got this big old rock over here to be able to keep us in the light. Now, I do wish, I gotta be honest, you brought it up, but I do wish you could have seen my other ones. They're pretty nifty. But this one's pretty good also. I got, we've been making it work. And you, yeah.
Yes, hi, hello, it is very nice to meet you. My name is Baskin, I am from the swamps of Ahib. It is very rare to see someone who will openly acknowledge the practiced art of hospitality. So since you are being honest about your difficulties in doing it, even though it's what you're supposed to do, I understand. I really appreciate it. Sometimes, kind of glare around, people can be just a little bit rude, and that is not what we are trying to do here. So I have a gift from the Palomara from you,
And we'll pull out like two, and probably like not like crazy sized, but probably banana pepper sized, twisted reddish black peppers, where the like area seems to have a heat distortion around it. It's like, you can try these. I would normally just look at one really hard and think about the flavor, and it's probably enough. But if you want to, I would use it a little bit. But a gift for welcoming us into your land and having really bad aim with that first guy.
Oh, no, you misunderstand. If I wanted to crush you with him, I would have crushed you with him. But
No, I understand. It's a complete warning shot. I get it. It is a joke.
he was the welcoming party. But I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And she reaches her hand down. Oh, and she picks them up, and they're real small in her hand. I will keep these safe, and I will use them at an appropriate time.
I mean, they got they're kind of fresh. You got 2 weeks. I wouldn't really hold on to them for the grandkids.
Ooh. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Maybe I'll prepare a little bit of something tonight if you want to stick around. Although that's up to you. I don't know what your whole MO is or whatever you got going on. I see you running with Tess, but Whew, probably mighty busy. Anyway, and she puts the peppers in her pocket. Welcome to my farm. We have a lot of different things if you want to stop by. If you're on your way to go do something else, I completely understand. But if you want to stop by for a little bit, I mean, you are y'all more than welcome. I mean, yeah, no, never mind. No, forget I said anything.
I, for one, would be more than thrilled to see a bit more, stick around for a little bit.
Yeah,
I
I'd like to see more of the farm.
Oh no. I have a sneaking suspicion that you are someone who will have moonshine, so I am always open to doing business.
Oh, you want to start with that?
No, we started with the hot pepper, and now we can move on to the real business.
Oh, you want
The
the
moonshine.
You want that now? All right. I mean, let's go. I was
ain't
saving
getting
that to
any
the end of the
drunker.
tour, but if you want to get there first, I got a little bit.
Look, we are all adults here, and that means we get to decide when dessert and when appetizers happen, and sometimes booze is both.
I think that we can make that happen. Let's go and get a drink, and then we'll walk around the premises.
Oh, I'm coming with you. And Jinx follows close behind, busking with her little pitcher plant. It's like, I'm going to figure out how to get this to make that.
Reverie kind of points at the peppers. In regards to things that burn, you wouldn't happen to have anything for any kind of vaguely gestures to himself in the shape he's in after having been slapped by that ooze.
Oh, I was gonna say you don't look mighty great, but I did not want to be that person. But if you are looking for a little bit of first aid, I could probably help you out.
That would be wonderful. I'd be willing to compensate you, of course. Any, kind of gestures towards his belt where one would have a bag of gold.
Well, I appreciate it. And keep that in mind. Don't get me wrong. I will take your gold if you give it to me, but I might have another thing for you to do if you have a little bit of time on your hands, but that's up to you completely. We could discuss that as we do our tour. Y'all ready? Let's go. And slowly they all start to head over. As you look around, you can see the centaurs are Nacharu is super stoked, and Little Mess is arguably also stoked. As you could look over at Tess, and they are more. They had a mission. They were going to a place. They're not. Well, they're quiet about it, but you know that was kind of their trajectory. But everyone else is following along as Tess brings up the rear. As you follow Morris and the two Caleb Durs, as they turn back into their rolling rock forms, heading through these paths. And going from where you are currently, they open up the fence that's in front of you, which is not really on a swivel so much as it is just a bending fence itself. It looks more of like the way that it's been set up is very sturdy, but also thrown together in kind of a semblance. It doesn't really look like this was the ideal scenario for all of the things that were here. In fact, it looks like this place has been expanded on not too long ago. It looks like it was fairly recently that this has been a more built upon place. As you pass this really large swath of sunflowers, you can see that as you get to the middle of this, where the river actually is breached over, the river has been detoured a couple of different places to make some irrigation along the fields, as there are now, you count, almost 8 or 9 different little streams that go off to their own little places. You can, as you get a little bit closer, see that there's one area with grains, one area with rice, one area with some other type of big leafy green. There's one whole pasture that you can see is these birds that are taller than most of you, running around with these weird face-like beaks that kind of look like axes more than anything else, but they have all these weird plumages. They're all brightly blues and reds and yellows. As you get closer, you can see that there are a lot of, well, there's not a lot of animals. There's only about, as you count them, maybe a little bit more than 20 of those birds. There's about 15 of these really large kind of megafauna rhinoceros-y type things with these large antlers and horns. There are some goats, but not a lot of animals for the space that's here. As you all follow up into the main area, you follow and see that Morris opens up the front door into this kind of ruined rocky temple that looks like it was now refurbished to become a barn. So this doesn't look like a place that they have built themselves so much as taken over and then made what they needed it to be. And Morris turns around and you, all right, I will be right back. I got to go down to the basement real quick and we'll get something to drink and then we'll talk about whatever you want to know. And they travel off, leaving those two Caleb Duras with you in the room and all the centaurs. And they're gone for a little bit if you want to do anything right now while they're out.
I think Dram, even though communication has gone well so far, will still sort of ask if they need anything. If the Gildur need anything.
Yeah, as you kind of ask them that question, they both kind of look at each other and they feel pretty content right now. There's nothing like immediately that they're like, that's what we're dire. No, they're feeling pretty comfortable where they're at right now.
Fair enough, fair enough. If anything comes up, let me know.
It's kind of the response you get. As within a couple minutes, Morris comes back with, looking in their hand, you think that these are small barrels. They got one barrel in each hand as they boom, boom, flop them down. And you just look up and be like, oh my, wow, that's a lot. That's a lot of liquid that's in those barrels. As they plop up one and fill a couple of various sized glasses, actually. They grabbed a couple of different things for everybody. They have a large glass for themselves. They serve one for the Caleb Duras each. Each of you gets an appropriate size glass, unless you would like one that is a different size. But Morris is looking out right now, giving a little bit of to everybody. Little Mess does not get some, but everybody else does. Little Mess, they actually serve a little bit of other type of juice.
Cute. Excuse me. Yeah, Jinx has like sips on some of it, but then it also like pours a tiny bit into the pitcher plant, just trying to figure out how to make it work to make more of it. Almost like record this for the what's it called? The thing in Star Trek that makes the food. Replicator.
Oh.
Food replicator.
Go ahead and make an Arcana check for me.
All right. 17.
All right. And with that, you take a little bit. I don't know if this is going to work. You put a little bit of the liquid into the pitcher and you swish it around a little bit, and you feel like maybe you feel you're onto something. But you won't know until you try.
All right. Yeah, she'll try it right away.
Yeah, and as you do, hey, you've added something to your pitcher, as this thing also makes this moonshine, this apple cinnamon moonshine that this is now in all of your cups and also coming out of your pitcher plant.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's what she's up to.
Okay. As you all have your own glass of this pretty potent, but also fairly delicious moonshine. as Morris looks over. Okay, is everyone settled then? Well, welcome to my farm. We were going to get to this last, but under these circumstances, I appreciate it first. Well, this is what I use for my distillery. I do, well, I mean, I used to grow some of these. This is actually the last, if I'm going to be honest, this is the last batch that I might have for a little bit of time. The apple trees that I use for these are, they're at my other farm. There was a lot of them, actually. Well, not a lot of them, but there was a couple of them. That's neither here nor there. This is the last batch, though, and I hope that you do appreciate it. I'm glad to have you.
I think at that point, Jinx will hold up the pitcher plant and be like, well, I may be able to help you with some more. Not a lot more, probably, but some more.
Oh?
I got a neat little pitcher plant that replicates liquids. And I think I got it to make this.
Oh, well.
And she'll demonstrate.
Okay. As Morris now ask for a glass of your pitcher plant moonshine.
Yeah, Jinx will pour it and hand it over. Or I guess in this case, be like, here you go. Because it's significantly larger than her.
Yeah, maybe pour the pitcher plant in as Morris picks it up easily. Oh, okay. I will say, and this is just my critique, it's not bad. I would prefer my own apples, but for what this is, I'll be honest, if I didn't know any better, I would say this is a mighty fine knockoff. But as the maker, I will say, maybe you're almost there. You're almost there.
Maybe I'll keep tweaking it. And she'll go back to tinkering with the formula or the recipe.
Okay. Now, if you, the apples trees are still around. It's just I don't have access to the property anymore, unfortunately. You see, this is one of my 4 farms. At least this is the one that I still have. We had to move everybody and everything from these other farms as much as we could. Just the 3 of us, but we did what we got to do. And we moved everything as best we could. We made up our own little fence. We moved up that stone. Don't get too close, mind you. If you get too close to it without, doing your dues, it's going to burn you mighty bad. And I can't have that unless you do. Oh, speaking of which, I almost forgot. And she runs off to the other room real quick and comes back like a minute later with this little kind of mortar and pestle looking mushed up bunch of plants and goop, and brings it to you, Reverie, and says, all right, well, it is a little bit last minute, but I think this might help you out a little bit if you need it. Now, take your time. I will say it could be a little bit bitter, but it does the job, and don't forget it.
Reverie kind of glances around, and when he thinks nobody's looking, he's already counted out. He kind of hands her 100 gold. hands Morris 100 gold.
Oh, well, I mean, thank you. I appreciate it. This is more than expected. Wow. Thank you. She puts it in her pocket.
And he kind of nods, says, appreciate it, under his breath, just loud enough for Morris to hear.
Great. And are you in it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. This is a greater healing potion, and it does taste very bad. But you can go ahead and roll 4d4 plus 4 and heal that much.
Does Dram recognize any of those herbs, being in that herbalist himself?
You didn't watch them make it, but as you were looking around the farm itself, yeah, go ahead and make a medicine check for me.
Nice. That's almost
Or
all.
a survival, either one of those.
I'll take medicine.
Okay.
Oh, wait, it's still
Hey, 20 is still pretty good. Some of these you do recognize, and you have actually seen a few of these as like things that maybe you even consider weeds in Umberville are currently being cultivated here at this Nymphindor farm. But a few of these you recognize them tangentially. You don't know exactly what they are, but you now have an idea of what herbs are the ones to look out for in Nymphindor to be able to make healing potions, at least.
Nice.
And whether or not you want to try and get some of those here, they do exist and they are planted right there.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Well, if you want to walk the perimeter, we could do that. Or we could just, I don't know, hang out in here. I'm having a good time. And just kind of swirls her glass. No, we should go outside and just go see everybody. All right, let's go. And she stands up and heads on out. And all the centaurs stand up after Tess and head outside as well. As you all follow them. And she starts to lead you around the edge. All right, well, these ones over here, and she points over at the field of these large birds that are standing on two legs with these really long beaks that are sticking out of them. Well, these are my axe beaks, and they do sit around and well, look beautiful if I do say so myself. I used to have a lot more of them. In fact, this was at my other farm down in the south, but I guess we haven't had that farm in a little bit. We've had to move these guys for a couple of different times. They've had to move around. I missed my big herd, I'll tell you that. But right now, I'm happy I have the ones that I have, and they're mighty strong. I'll give them that much. They've been through a lot, and they moved a couple of times. But where we're at is where we're at, and that's going to be okay with us. Over here, and she moves on. This is where we have the rumps, and she points at those really big megafauna that have the really long antlers and horns. These ones also used to live in my other farm, but that one also got ran through, and I do not have it anymore. But I was able to get out the ones, these rumps that I was able to get out, and we have a little herd growing again. Some of them didn't, again, make it, but, we got to work with what we got. And then in my other farm, well, that one had a lot of different plants and a lot of different foods. And I'll tell you what, being the one sole provider of most of the food here in Nymphindor is a lot to be in charge of. But I'm glad someone's doing it. I do wish I had my old farms, though. I gotta say it. But we're making it work. We're doing what we got. We have this good sun rock that even when we're not feeling up to it, the sun is shining and those plants are growing. And that's the important part here. Am I right? Yeah. Anyway, any questions currently?
Well, what's the issue with the old farms again? Sorry, you might have mentioned that.
Oh.
I missed it.
No, well, I don't have them anymore. You see, I used to have 4 farms, and this is the one that is my last one. And each of them I put a lot of care and effort in my farms. And as you can see here, we built this whole thing. We moved that rock up here. It was not here originally, but I needed to plant my plants, and I need to have it on both sides of the river. So we need to be able to make the light. sit up at the top. But the other farms, well, there's one that's not too far away here, but that's where I used to have these axe beaks, and it got overran. It got overran by these pesky gnolls. They're sitting there and they ran through my fences. And before that, it was just me there. And Gobi and Bogey were not really around at the time. I'm sorry, I didn't think I introduced them. This is Boji and this is Gobi. And she pointed at the Gale of Duras. And they've been helping me out for a little bit. But we moved from that farm and then we went to the other farm, and that was in the west side. And we were there for a long time too, and then everything started to change. And from up in the mountains, they just happened to show up. There was all these hill giants that came on down, and they said, well, you're so small and we're so big, and you are going to give us all your land. And I was just me. And there was like 6 of them at least. And I was like, whew. Anyway, they're small on the totem pole as far as giants go, but as far as I am, I'm even smaller than all of them. So anyway. And then the other farm, that's down in the south. And down there, we have, he's a bit of a mess. What does he call himself these days? He calls himself like the gelded goofus. That's not it. The gelded grump. No, that ain't it either. The point is, he's kind of pompous. He's a bit of he's a big old dragon, and he did take my farm, and I'm still kind of peeved about it, if I gotta be honest. But I don't like really venting about all that stuff. So I got one farm that got taken over by gnolls. I got one farm that got taken over by giants, and I got one farm that got taken over by a dragon. But that's okay, because we got this farm here right now, and we have space, and we're making do with what we got.
But what you're saying is we should go and kill the gnolls.
Yep, that's what I heard.
Well,
I agree.
Well, I mean, we can go and kill these stone giants if you think that would be easier. But I mean, like, I know that Jinx and we can probably hide in their nose or something so they can't really punch us.
Wow, that would be pretty fun to see.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to beat the fuck out of a dragon, but I don't know about the rest of these folks.
I mean, fighting a dragon does sound pretty fun and exciting.
I could fight a second dragon.
I mean, you did really well with the first one. All of these options are sounding like, I'm down for it.
Reverie kind of narrows his eyes a little bit. Does anybody else see a pattern here? Gnolls, giants, and a dragon who calls himself the Geld, whatever. And then we had Garvin, and then this big a lot of G's here.
Well, gee, what are you trying to say, Reverie?
I don't know. Maybe there's a connection. Maybe there's not. I don't know.
Part of me really hopes that the next G is Griffin. I just love those things, man.
Wait, I'm sorry. I just have to clarify something. I am not the best book person I know, but Knoll is not a G. Knoll is an N.
Well, the G is silent.
Then if the G is silent, then the G's not fucking in the damn word.
I guess you could pronounce it.
Okay,
Gnolls.
so we have there were the Knolls and then there were the axe beaks, but it was the G in front of the axe, but it was silent. This doesn't make any sense.
Wait. If it's gnolls, does that make gnomes gnomes?
Yes,
Yeah,
that would
exactly.
make gnomes if it was a real G in front of them, but it's not. It's gnome. It's Nome in the equivalent of Sylvan.
Ah.
Wait, you don't call them gnomes?
No, that's Siri.
Reverie just kind of sighs and takes a big swig of moonshine.
I knew a gnome once. He was Noel. Noel the gnome.
I don't know. I feel like we
He
all
was a nice
been
guy.
gnomed.
Wow, I don't know what to do with all y'all. Oh my goodness. Anyway, if you really are into this idea, I mean, it's not too far of a day's. I mean, it's if I lend you some axe beaks, actually, you could be there in like, I don't know, not too long, like a couple of hours, probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's going to what? Sorry, which one are we going to again? The
Well,
the Gunnols or the Good Dragon?
Oh well, that one's up to you all, but the Dragon is a little bit further away. However, the Gnolls are a little bit closer. If you wanted to go to all the other farms and clear out all my little issues over there, I would be more than thrilled. But I do know that you might be on a little bit of something else. And looks over at Tess, who's like not drinking moonshine, who's just like hanging out, sitting in the side. But if you are all into it, I would be more than happy to have a second farm once again. It's up to you, though. I want to impose.
Well, we've got lots of things that start with a G that get progressively bigger, so let's go see if any of them are the big G, I guess.
Oh, y'all looking for a big J? I mean, I don't think I've seen any like words or letters or anything like that, but I'll keep an eye out. She points at her face. I'm sorry,
She
that was
Reverie actually does kind of snicker at that.
well. I mean, I love this idea. I got to be honest, but if we're gonna do it, wonderful. And if not, that's also okay. It's up to you all. If you do it, though, here's what I will say. I have a couple of little things here that I don't really need anymore. Some things are, well, maybe broken. That's fair. But here's where I'm at right here physically. This used to be an old sun temple. And so I have a couple of different things here that might be useful as far as like things go. I also do have some money if that's what you're into, but I can make you some more healing potions, or I can make you, whatever you need. Honestly, I'm here to provide, but I just having my second farm back, even just another one, would be amazing.
I just want to point out that maybe we should, if we are going to be looking for this big G person, and maybe we are taking it a little bit more seriously. I am concerned because if they can't see it, and we've already established that the G is silent, apparently. Hopefully, it's just going to be fucking invisible then. So that's great. How much nicer how much nicer things would you be able to do with the farm that was overrun by giants versus the one that was overrun by gnolls? Because if it's the same give and take, I'm just going to eat the gnolls instead.
Well, let's see. At the one that the gnolls took over just like a little bit away, that was where I had a lot more pastures, a lot more places for my animals. The ones with the hill giants, they were a lot more of my plants, a lot of my herbs and spices and fruits and vegetables. But here's the thing. If I get rid of these sections with animals in them, where the axe beaks and the rumps and the goats all sit, then that'll give me at least 3 more little areas to be able to grow plants, and I can rotate everybody around so I don't plant the same crop in the same place more than once in a row. So I could give it a little bit of a breathing room, if you know what I mean. So I think that, yeah, at least one of them, whatever is probably the easiest. I would probably guess the Knolls. The Giants are a little bit of a doozy, if I'm going to be honest. They scared me off, and they scared us off, and we were together. And now it's not to say that a lot of you can't handle it, but I don't know if Tess wants to run out that far. It's a little bit closer to the mountains than anything else. As far as the one in the south with the dragon, though, that's up to y'all. I gotta be honest. I'll use that one for sure, but minimum one will be like, a lifesaver at this point. If you get all 4, though, I'm back in business for real. But I'm still making it work. Whatever happens is a blessing on me.
Maybe we warm up with the Gnolls and then see if there's a giant that's a big G, and if it's not a giant, then we go do the dragon.
Good night.
Oh yeah, the giant.
This dragon, did he? Maybe I missed it. Did they happen to say where they came from?
Oh, well, there's been a dragon here for as long as I've been around, I think. I will say he got a little bit bigger than his britches once all these things started happening. But he's been around for a little bit. Yeah, at least as far as I've been around. Usually, though, he's been sticking off to himself in the south of the realm. But once there were other things that popped up, he started making more moves. And I figured that's what happened with his giants also, and with a lot of these things. In fact, that looks to be what's, why are y'all here? Maybe. I don't know. But I think the realm that was his probably got cut off, if I were to guess. Wanted more space. But who really knows? I haven't talked to him. He didn't really give me much of a way of conversation, so much as said, get the heck out of here. And I said, well, okay, you're a big old dragon, and I don't have much of a say against that. And he said, yeah, get out of here. I'm paraphrasing, obviously. He didn't really say it just like that, but that's pretty much the gist of it, though.
Yeah, do you remember what this dragon looked like?
Oh, he's a big old stinker. He's like, he's a bronze dragon, if I remember correctly. He's not too old. He's not too like young, though. He's like right in the middle of being like around in his area. He likes a lot of space. He likes a lot of food. He took off some of my goats, and that is when I said, well, no more for you. We're going to just leave. I'm going to take all my goats and get out of here if you were just going to keep stealing from me. I mean, sometimes he would pay for them, but sometimes he would just take them. And that, for me, is not a good business deal. So we got out of there.
Sounds like he was really goading you on there.
Yeah, I get it. I like him. Yeah, he was. And I didn't really appreciate it at the time, but now I can look back and we can laugh at this joke. He did get me though, huh?
Yeah, not really the ideal kind of getting your goat, so to speak.
Yeah, we should just go beat up all of these things. That sounds like a good plan.
I mean, at the least, I still have other stuff that I have to do, but like, I mean, this is fine. It's a punch stop. Punch stop is no problem, especially if it gets more of this really nice booze.
Yes, but how many gnolls? I mean, if it's like 4 or 5, maybe 6 gnolls or however many, not so bad. But if it's like, oh, look, 100 gnolls, that's a little different.
Well, here's the thing. Are there more than 100 gnolls in Nymphador? Yes, absolutely. Are there more than 100 gnolls at my farm? I don't know. I don't think so. And I would really hope that's not the case because, wow, they would trash the place so bad. But I think that it's probably not going to be too many of them. If anything, I hope that they kept all of my stuff and just are using it for themselves. But I haven't been back there. I know that the ones that scared me away, again, this was before Boji and Gobi both got here. So it was just me on my own. I could only do so much. But there was a handful of them, at least about 10 or whatever. They had some other animals with them, though. They're, all the animals of Nymphindor. Either they're, able to get their food procured by me or by one of my resellers, or they are not, and they have to feed for themselves. And well, they have a mighty big scorpion and a couple of different cheetahs and a couple of different hyenas that are all woof. They make a bad dash after my animals, I'll tell you that. But as far as what's there now, I couldn't tell you. I haven't been over there in a little bit of time. We've been situating this place right here, making sure all the fences are ready, making sure if any of those pesky G's, as you like to call them, are going to show back up, well, we'll be ready for it. And we got the sunstone up there, so your worst case scenario, I will light them up. But that's only a new addition to our defenses. So we're good here, but we can't take that with us. It's far too big.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I will say, you won't. My other farm is not within a mile, so this won't really help you too much. But if you wanted to, while you're here at the farm, at least you could go up to the Sunstone and attune to it if you'd like to, and you'll be able to cast a couple of different spells, but only while you're here. So it's really up to y'all. If you don't do it though, don't get too close because that thing will burn you. It'll burn you bad. It's up to you though. It does wear out though if you leave too far away. So it's not going to be super helpful when you're out of here, but when you're here, like us, and she snaps her finger and a little flame appears just like right above. You could get a couple of different cool things when you're here.
I want it. Yep, I'm gonna go do that. Jinx just excitedly goes to attune to the sunstone.
Yeah,
Okay.
even Reverie is actually trying not to vibrate with excitement at the idea.
Well, all right. Anybody who wants to come see the sunstone, follow me. And she heads up off these really big stone stairs that curl up to the top of this rundown structure that has been renovated into a farm. And anybody who's following, feel free.
I'll come along.
All right.
Maskeen will not.
Okay. Naotoro is also going to come with you, as he's the only centaur that will. Baskin, you're going to hang out with. Well, do whatever you're going to do, but the other three are not going to be coming up. Also, so Morris goes up with the four of you. As you get to a pretty big doorway at the top of this staircase, as Morris turns around and says, "Okay, well, I'm going to open this door." And you will be hit. I'll be honest. You're gonna get hit a little bit with the rays of the sunstone, and then we're going to sit, and we are going to wait, and we are going to think about the heat, and we are going to think about the light, and we are going to exist in the presence of the sunstone. And if you could do that for just a little bit of time, you'll come away feeling better and feeling good, and you're going to be okay. All right? We ready? All right. As they open up this door, and as soon as this door opens, the four of you, without needing to dodge or anything. Just immediately take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Take 16 fire damage as this door opens, and you just are hit with this blast of heat and energy and intensity. As Morris, okay, I told you it would be a little bit, but it's a one-time thing. Walk in and take a seat. As they go in and they sit down on the ground right in front of this massive rock. It is bright golden yellow, and looking at it, you can see that there are kind of orangish, reddish veins going through it that look like flowing magma, as it is so bright next to this thing. It is shedding pure daylight. It is like sitting next to a small sun in this room. As you shield your eyes. And Dram, how are you feeling about this?
You know, I really don't think Dram was prepared, and the sun's a really not great thing with him right now for many reasons, and also being the child of a Darkling for even more reasons.
Yeah.
So I think he's probably he came in, got hit by the light, and it was so intense that he's just gone stock still.
Okay.
Standing there, and he is awash in memories of very unpleasant memories that happened only a few days ago. Still.
Yeah, honestly. Well, I guess at this point it's been about 2 weeks, which is still not too much time, huh?
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's just standing stock still there, just 1,000-yard stare.
Okay.
Jinx, by contrast, is walking in like someone who laid out in the sun too long and now they're sunburned. So they're just doing like, the arms out to the side and like, kind of bow-legged sort of walk, just like, ow, 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 ow. But she takes a seat and uses, what is it? Minor illusion to make this sort of like fidget toy. So it's like a key ring with various shapes and things on it that she just sort of sits there and fidgets with while she's waiting.
All right. How you doing, Reverie?
Oh, wait a minute. I have a resistance to fire damage, don't
Okay. All right. Yes, you do. You are, in fact, a tiefling.
I don't know how much though.
Well, it's resistance, so you get half damage. You take 8 fire damage.
Awesome. He doesn't say it out loud, but Reverie's thinking, I want 50 gold back.
As Natru also enters the room and gets blasted, and you hear, what? Why? Just from him. As Morris calmly sits on the ground. Okay, I need all y'all to sit. That's what we said. We're going to come in here. We're going to sit. And Natru goes and sits down. Are y'all gonna? Hello? As kind of wave over at you all.
Sorry, who was saying hello?
Oh, Morris was telling everyone to sit, and Dram is off, just like distant yard stare and nothing. And
Oh, Reverie's actually sat down because this was fire's a little less awful for him than everybody else probably. Still
Fair.
sucks, but
Yeah, Jinx just heads over. So she's just heading right over and sitting down.
okay. What about him? Points up at Dram. Okay, I need you to sit a little bit. And Dram reaches up and grabs your hand and pulls you to the ground.
Dram's just sort of dragged along.
Yep. Okay, well, we're all gonna sit here and we're gonna think. Feel free to close your eyes, but try not to go to sleep. And let's pray to the Sunstone. And you all sit and take if you needed it, take a short rest right now, as you can regain some hit points as you sit in front of the Sunstone for the next however long, 30 or so minutes, as you all sit up there. And as long as you are currently, all four of you who are up there, heal what you got to heal. Hopefully that's some amount of that fire damage. And you all also heal, besides that, another 9 from the Sunstone itself. So whatever you ended up rolling, I go ahead and add 9 to that. As right now, all of you are currently, as long as you are within a mile of the Sunstone, your attunement does not end. So if you, however long you're around here for, this is it. You can cast Light, Sacred Flame, and Spare the Dying at will. And you can also cast Bless, Cure Wounds, and Lesser Restoration as second level spells once during a long rest.
Nice.
So you have a couple of other spells you can work with only while you are in the vicinity of the Sunstone.
Can I just get the spells one more time?
Yes. So you have Light, you have Sacred Flame, a DC of 13 if you need to use it within the next however long you're around, and Spare the Dying are cantrips that you can cast at will. You can also cast Bless, Cure Wounds, and Lesser Restoration at second level once between your long rests, depending on how long you have this attunement to the Sunstone.
Nice.
All right, got it.
And this attunement does go away if you leave the vicinity. So you have a mile of Sunstone spell casting.
Okay. Very cool.
Nice.
And after the 30 minutes, you hear Morris clap their hands. Well, I think that'll do it. How y'all feeling? Can you do this? And she snaps her hand and a little flame pops up.
Jinx goes to do that.
Yep, there it is.
Hey, that's fun.
Well, all right. Well, welcome in. It's great to see y'all, and have you be part of here in my in our. And she looks over at the two other Caleb doers who are still with you, as they trek their way up the stairs as well, slowly. They're behind you, as they look over and they also, and out of their little rock fingers, a little flame pops up as well. All right. Well. Let's go pick out your. I mean, if you're going to my other farm, you probably want a ride. Is that right?
Yeah, that would be helpful.
All right. Well, let's go set you up, and she leads you downstairs. As meeting up with the rest of you, Baskin, is there anything you were doing during that 30 minutes of chilling?
Yes, I was telling Tess progressively dirtier and dirtier jokes.
Oh boy!
Just at the end of it, where there's just like it's nothing but beep a deep, and then the beep 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 beep, and like it's so intense that there is just a censor bar over Basque's mouth. Sometimes it's filthy, and it's
Okay.
just to get a reaction.
Yep. Go ahead and make a performance check for me.
Yeah. Let's see what we got here. Oh. Well, damn. Do I have anything? Ooh. What is this? Oh, nope. I didn't take performance from that.
Oh.
That's a shame. I've got natural annoyer or natural annoyance as a racial thing, but I used it for something other than performance.
Oh.
That's a 9.
As you just keep rattling them off one after another, boom, 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 boom. Tess is unfazed. Tess looks at you after the last one. Well, that was something.
Yeah, I think if everybody's gone 30 minutes, by the time they get back, if they come back, Bask is just frothing and just obscenities and crude turns of phrases, just no coherent thought anymore.
Okay. As everyone comes back down the stairs and Tess addresses the rest of you, it seems that this one is having a bit of a temper tantrum. It might need a break outside.
I don't understand. Why doesn't he get mad? He never gets mad. I'm not having a temper tantrum. I'm just confused that I have emotion and he doesn't. They don't. I don't know. They are just very frustrating to me right now.
And Tess looks at you. Well, that might be something to think about then on your walk. And they close their eyes.
Jinx will, Jinx will just fly over to Buskin and pour him, some sort of container of that moonshine. Like, come on, Pascal. We'll figure it out. Let's go for a walk, or you walk and I'll fly.
Wow.
Not because he said to.
All right, well, it's time to go check out those the final mount. Am I right? Let's go. And Morris leads all of you outside, leaving the centaurs inside as they bring you over to the pasture of all of the axe beaks. And as you get a little bit closer, you can see that there are a handful of them. There's, if you count all of them individually, there are 23 of them. And they all come in different colors, different plumages, reds and blues and greens and yellows and purples and violets. And which ones are you picking?
Reverie immediately yells, I call purple.
Are there any of them that have like rainbow or multiple colors?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Jinx goes straight for that.
Something grim and black. And maybe poisonous. So maybe something very colorful, but like in a threatening kind of colorful way.
Okay. We could definitely make that happen. Green and black? Yeah, those are definitely feathered colors that birds have.
Bram definitely blindly just walks into one. It's just like, you'll do.
The one that you've ran into, Dram, has just two rows of red stripes that go all the way down its back, and really just light brown feathers all the way around it besides that. So we got the green and black, we got the rainbow, we got the red striped. Reverie got the purple or the violet. And you guys get one more, but we can't pick that one next time when we come back.
Awesome.
All right, and that's where we're gonna put it on pause for today. So you guys are next time gonna be heading out to the secondary farm, clearing out some knolls and some other things you might find out there.
Wait.
Yeah, what's up?
Are we going to a second dairy farm or a secondary farm?
Yes. Yes, actually both. It is actually both, actually.
Amazing. Oh, that was great. I thoroughly enjoyed that. We're going to go on a raid here in just a second. But before we do, I want to give everybody a chance to say what their favorite part was, where we can find them, anything they'd like to share or plug. And we'll start with Andy.
Oh man, that was fun. I'm so glad that we got to play again after a couple of weeks of not playing. Wow. I'm super stoked about that. My favorite part was that we got to play. My second favorite part was your conversation about the letter G and all of the different things that, you're right, do in fact start with the letter G, don't they? I had to mute myself because I was actually laughing out loud too much. I was like, nope, I can't hold it in this time. Mute button time. It's really, really good.
Oh. And where can folks find you?
Oh, right. Thank you so much. You can find me at Martinez Tweets on Twitter. You can find me at Martinez Streams on Twitch. And you can find me at Martinez Makes on Patreon. And I have a couple of different things coming out, hopefully in the next, I keep saying this, next couple of weeks. I've been writing, this is my spring break right now, so we're putting in a little bit more time on this kind of stuff than actual work, which has been sweet. Doing a couple of different online DMing things over the summer, so check out some of that. Besides that, you can find me next time tomorrow. I'll be streaming on my own channel at Martinez Streams. We're probably going to be playing some more Pokemon Arceus. On Thursday, we might be doing some stream. What it is, I'm not quite sure. Maybe it's a game, maybe it's a one-shot for D&D. We'll see what ends up happening. Maybe not. Maybe next week, though. I have a one-shot in the works, and hey, you might see some familiar faces if we get that getting going.
Awesome.
So that's where you're going to see me next. At least tomorrow, we'll be streaming some Pokemon.
Awesome. Next, Par. What was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? Anything you want to share or plug?
My favorite part, just has to be that moment between Tess and Baskin. I didn't say it as part of the game, but yeah, Dram definitely woke up right at that moment, and though nobody saw it, there was definitely a damn look on his face as Baskin was basically getting corralled by Jinx. Definitely resurfaced at that moment to just have that damn moment, then quietly go back to the dark place. So that was a really good moment. And shout out to Ganol and Ganayet, and just so fun, so much fun. You can find me on Twitter at Par Professional and at Mr. Par 4E. You can find me on Twitch at Mr. Par, and that's about it right now for me. I'll just be here hopefully next week with this lovely group of people playing this wonderful campaign, and I think that's me wrapped.
All right. M, favorite part? Where can folks find you? Anything you want to share or plug?
Oh my gosh, favorite part. There's a lot to pick from. Morris. I think Morris is probably my favorite part. I'm not gonna lie, I immediately thought of Lily Bowen from Fallout New Vegas, the super mutant with the straw hat and everything. Like, oh, this makes me so happy. But no, was not expecting giant Cyclops with sweet Southern Belle Cyclops. Like, this is the best. This is the best. Every character is the best character. But yeah, you can find me at Timberdoodles on Twitter. I'm a digital artist and I complain a lot. That's pretty much it. You can also find me on the Black for the Guild YouTube channel. Fridays at 7 p.m. Central Time for Welcome to Madison, which is a surreal horror TTRPG. It's a lot of fun. It's creepy in an awesome way, and I'm really hyped to get back to it.
Awesome. And then Zan, favorite part? Where can folks find you? Anything you want to share or plug?
Yeah, I'm Zan. I am a I don't know how to say therapeutic GM and professional GM in the same thing without just saying like I'm multiple GM, I guess. I do a lot of tabletop things with cool places, with cool people in cool places. Wow, my med slammed into me like a wall earlier, and so my brain is not super great at this moment, but you can find me where my brain is going to be better. Over on a Tactics channel from time to time, over on a Cat Named Schrodinger's channel from time to time, some Wednesdays here and there. And you can also find me sporadically on the Faustian Nonsense Network, which is a cool place that I do some podcast stuff with, but there'll be more info on that coming out real soon. My favorite part tonight is probably just Revelry being really Revelry being smarmy about wanting 50 gold back. Like, it was just so subtle and so good, and it was very Reverie. It felt very real, and also I loved the idea of living boulders being thrown as part of the Ruli and Baskin combo involves throwing, and so you can really take a lot of respect for that. Game recognized game, and that's gonna be me.
Awesome. My favorite part is definitely also Morris. Best voice ever. That was so great. I love that character already. I'm glad we're gonna go help her with her farm. So it's gonna be great.
Y'all shucks.
Let's see. Where you can find me next. Today is Tuesday, so it'll be Friday at noon Mountain Time over on our YouTube channel for Avatar Before the Ice Melted, and then at 6 p.m. Mountain Time for Welcome to Madison. I'll just be producing that one, so you won't actually see me, but I'll be here behind the scenes making it all do the thing. And let's see, other things to share or plug. One thing to go check out is the Children Champions of the Fae supplement. It's one of the things that we've been using for this campaign. Jinx, the sprite ancestry comes from that supplement. So it's pretty cool. There's a link to it there in chat. Also check out our sponsors, Fundamental RPG and Die Hard Dice. There's a lot of really cool information about them in the chat. For Fundamental, it's a TTRPG system. You can pick up the physical books on Amazon or the quick play guide at coffee.com/raven. Hey, thanks for the raid. Just Dorky Teacher. Hey, good to see ya. Welcome in. We're just getting ready to do the same thing. So yeah, you can get the quick play guide and the PDF over on coffee.com/raven for Fundamental RPG. And you can check out Die Hard Dice at dieharddice.com. Use the code FUNRPG. You can get 10% off of your entire order. And then, let's see. Anything else to share or plug? My brain is also not working at the moment. So I think that was everything we needed to cover. So we're going to go raid Nerdsmith. They're really awesome. Definitely give them a follow if you're not doing so already. And then I will catch you all on Friday. Bye, everybody.